Some of you may not have grown up with a B'Shvat Tish, and if that is true, I will tell you that I am one of you who has not grown up with a B'Shvat Tish. Until a couple of years ago, I don't think I ever heard of a B'Shvat Tish. And to see that it has become so accepted by so many people among Klal Yisrael is certainly not a bad thing. That people are getting opportunities to try to internalize what the day of Tu B'Shvat is, to be able to learn a lot from it, to be able to take the time to focus on Hilchas Brachas. Chacham Ovadia Zatzal has a sefer on Tu B'Shvat, sefer Chazon Ovadia on Tu B'Shvat, and in that sefer he spends perhaps 2 prakim of the sefer talking about Tesvav B'Shvat, the 15th B'Shvat, and the rest of the sefer he spends on talking about Hilchas Brachas and the halachas of products grown in Eretz Yisrael. And generally speaking, an American like us certainly does not spend a lot of time talking about the halachas of products grown in Eretz Yisrael. Right now in class, we were talking about the most basic halachas of Tu B'Shvat as it relates to Hilchas Maestros. A lot of time, people don't know much about the halachas of produce that's grown in Eretz Yisrael. To be able to apply it to our lives, that's certainly extremely valid. But also to be able to apply the halachas of brachas to be mechazik ourselves in the details of brachas, and not simply to think, I don't know the bracha, it's probably shakal. To be able to do something like that, to be able to mechazik in that is extremely important. Some of us, I see there's one person here, some of us are very careful to learn, recently learn Kitzur Shulchan Aruch every single day. Yehudi, you learn Kitzur Shulchan Aruch every day? Kitzur Shulchan Aruch every single day. Right now, it happens to be this Kitzur Yomi that they have is learning Hilchas Brachas. So the person who's giving the shir, in this Kitzur Yomi shir, he was pointing out that there are a number of halachas nowadays that people simply avoid. Birchas hareach, the brachas of smelling. People avoid smelling things because they don't know the halachas, or they do smell things and they don't know there's a bracha you're supposed to make on it. Or birchas hatayva ha'meitiv. I'm not saying that people should be drinking wine, but the bracha of hatayva ha'meitiv that people make, people simply avoid the situation that a person would be chayiv to make a bracha hatayva ha'meitiv because it doesn't know enough about it. I was by a certain person's table a number of times, and this person, he never makes the bracha. Always baruch hatayva ha'meitiv. That's what he says. Because he did not learn the halachas of that type of bracha. And there are many halachas as it relates to that, and brachas, to be able to mechazik ourselves in Hilchas Brachas is extremely important. Today it happens to be the yahrzeit of my great-grandfather. My great-grandfather, his name was Rabbi Yaakov Tzvi ben Shmuel Zanvel HaKohen Rand. It's a very sad story. He died in 1924 in Munkach. He was a very special person. He was a descendant of Bnei Yissaschar, and he was attacked by Munkacher non-Jews, accused of a crime, and nearly beaten to death in the street. He was brought home. My grandfather was 7 years old, and my great-grandfather was lying in bed, and there was nothing they could do for him, and he was really just sitting there waiting to die. And my grandfather was there with him. He was the only one who was sitting on his bed with him. And at the last moment of his life, it says by Rebbes, but the last moment of his life, he asked my grandfather to bring him a cup of water. He brought him a cup of water, and he made a bracha, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, sha'akol niyeh b'dvar. Took a drink of that water, and then he turns to his 7-year-old son, and he said, I'm going to say Bar Nefashis in the next world. And he died right then. Today is his yahrzeit. A person, the very last moment of his life, was saying, I make a bracha here, I'll make a bracha there. I fill my life with brachas. I focus on brachas. My life is a bracha, and my path to the next world is paved with brachas. Of course, we know Maseches Brachos, it says that a person who eats without making a bracha, it's ki'ilu mal. It's a scary thing. It's a person like he's stealing from the Beis HaMikdash. He's using things from the Beis Hamikdash. It's a scary, scary thing. That's absolutely true. But there's so much to a bracha that a person should be thinking, not, I have to make a bracha. I could not imagine eating without making a bracha. I'll tell you the truth. As Chatoy and Masker, I'll mention I once was watching a video. And in this video, there was a person eating in the video. And I remember being bothered. Why is the guy in the video not making a bracha before he eats? You ever go to an airport and you walk through a doorway and you reach to the doorpost and try, where's the mezuzah? There's no mezuzah there. You're reaching, there's no mezuzah. You think a guy, he eats, he doesn't get to make a bracha? Yeah, you've done that. He can't make a bracha. Being able to make brachas, what a gift that we have. What a gift that we have. In fact, there's a medrash. The medrash says that the Klal Yisrael has a special gift that we could say Hashem's name before the Malachim could say Hashem's name. When they say Hashem's name, they have to wait for more words of praise before they could say Hashem's name. But by us, we could say Hashem's name already after just 2 words. We could say Hashem. But when we make a bracha, you say Hashem, Baruch Ato Hashem. You say Hashem, you get to say Hashem's name. It's a tremendous, tremendous chus. Some say it's even a higher level, the Ato of Baruch Ato Hashem. That you could talk to Hashem, mamish, like you're talking right in front of him. Brachas. We have a whole table full of brachas over here. Mizoynes, Gefen, Eitz, Adama, Shahakal. We're all going to be able to say these brachas. I just want to say a tremendous, tremendous thank you goes out to Shmuel and his wonderful mother for sponsoring all of the delicious food. Sometimes we're not sure if we're more shocked by how good the food tastes versus how good the food looks and the way that she presents it. And it's really wonderful, special. And we also know now how Shmuel gets involved in the marketing aspect of it. You see some of his marketing videos too. Tremendous. It should be a schus. It should be a schus for the family. It should be a schus for Yeshiva. It's my tremendous schus. I always, by my family, we used to daven Ma'ariv. We used to daven Ma'ariv on Motzei Shabbos. My grandfather, Zakheim, had a shul on Bedford and Jay, and their minyan was maybe 60 on Motzei Shabbos. But I got it in my head that I wanted to daven a later minyan. So right across the street from my mother's house is Rabbi Steinwarzel shul, and he has a minyan which is after 72 on Motzei Shabbos. And the best part of the minyan, aside from getting to keep Shabbos longer, is that I was able to hear the Rav speak on Motzei Shabbos. I can't say my Yiddish was so good, so Baruch Hashem, there was a lot of English that was thrown in too. But we have a tremendous chus to get to hear from Rabbi Steinwarzel. Please, as Hashem.
Shus, the Yeshiva, the Rabbi of the Yeshiva. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk to a young group of B'nai Torah, budding B'nai Torah, that are going to grow up to be the soldiers for Hashem in the next generation, to build Batim Namonim L'Hashem L'Torah, to be soldiers who follow in the pathway of Torah and be Matzliach in Ruchnius and Gashmius at Bias HaGoyel. I just want to add on to what the Rosh Yeshiva said. We're looking at it as a Chassidish Maisa. I want to start off pointing out now that this whole Chassidish B'Shvat Tish really has a Litvische taste to it. And it's not other than one of the biggest Litvish yeshivas in the world today. There is a Mashgiach in Panovich, in Eretz Yisrael, in the Yeshiva L'Tzeirim, that wrote a beautiful sefer, Lekach Tov, and he has beautiful insights on all the Mayadim. And he has a long talk on the inyan of Chamishas B'Shvat. And he brings out that it was very interesting. The Arizal, they bring from before that, the Svardim, and many of the Ashkenazim were makpid to eat some 15 different types of fruits, some 30 different types of fruits. They're all brachas. Others didn't make a shechion, others didn't have a shechion, but they ate fruits on Chamishas B'Shvat. What's going on? Why do we eat? Of course, it's Rosh Hashanah L'Lonis. It's when the budding trees, it's changing from the winter cycle to the summer cycle. Deep inside in the trees is the rousing from the sleep. And Chazal call it the sraf, the power of life that gives the koyach for the tree to grow. Starts the sap inside, deep inside, wakes up, and it starts the budding process of the new fruit of the new year. But he says, why do we eat chamishos B'Shvat? How many fruits? Now we have to know, let me give you one insight that's very important for us. We have to know everything we do from the time of Adam Arishan, the Arizal, all the Sfardim know this, and the big Mekabolim by the Ashkenazim, is to be Mesaka and the Chet of Eitz Hadas. Adam Arishan was challenged. We have to know Adam Arishan wasn't a plain person. Chazal tell us Yitzir Kapav Shalach HaKadosh Baruch Hu was created by Hashem alone. And Chazal tell us that the soles of his feet had such a shine of Kedusha, stronger than the shine of the sun. He was Yitzir Kapav. The Rabbi Shalom himself created Adam Arishan. A greater a person is, the greater the sign a person has. Because a person has a big challenge, a big nisayon in life, doesn't mean he's a bad person. Hashem wants everybody to earn his keep. So when it's a real easy thing, you didn't earn your keep. The greater you are, the higher you climb, the bigger the nisayon you're going to have. Hashem says, if it's not a nisayon, I don't keep you on this world. I take you to the world to come, and there you're going to get your schar. You're on this world for challenges. Every day, morning, afternoon, and night, there are challenges. Adam Arishan had a very, very tough challenge. Hashem tells him, from all the fruits of the Gan Eden you could eat, but from this tree, Eitz Hadas Tevira, don't eat from that tree. Hashem made a meidik in the Soyin. It was Nechmad Lamala. It looked so enticing. The Nachash made it so enticing. And sometimes, you make a frumkeit that's a mistake. So Adam Arishan said, without eating from the Eitz Hadas, I won't have an internal drive of Nisayim for Chet. If I'm going to eat it, I'm going to have an internal Nisayim for Chet, and I'm going to be goiver over it. I'm going to overcome my inclinations, my bad inclinations, and I'm going to be matzliach. So it was a kavona of toiv. But when Hashem tells you no, don't outsmart Hashem. Hashem said, everything you could eat, this you can't eat. They ate, it became a taruvis toivera, means in every person and in the whole world, it mixed up the chelek hatoiv and the ra. And the avoider, since the chet of Adam Arishan is to take out the chelek hatoiv of the bria and to keep away from the ra. Says the Panovich Mashgiach Rabbi Leib Shapiro, there was two parts of the chet, and we missed the boat by not registering the first part. The Rebbe said, "Kol eitz hagan nochal toichel, eitz hadas toivero loy soichel." He was nichshol, and he ate from the eitz hadas. But the Mikol eitz hagan nochal toichel, which was a mitzvah say that Hashem says, everybody thinks on this world there's no, you can't do this, you can't eat this, you can't do this. Hashem says, I gave you all the fruits of the world to be able to eat. And I want you to have anur from what I'm giving you, and to be meshabeach and moida, like the HaYeshiva said, brachis, recognizing who Hashem is and they gave it to you. You ate from the one you weren't allowed to eat, but from the one you were supposed to eat, you didn't eat. You have to be mesakim mikol eitz hagan nochal toichel. Says the Panovich Mashgiach, chamishos B'Shvat. We take all the payers from all the different places in the world. We take all the payers and say, Hoidul Hashem, thank you Hashem. You gave us so much in this world that we can have anor, recognize your greatness, what you gave us. And Hoidul Hashem. And this is the tikkun of the first part of the Chet of Eitz Hadas. When Hashem says, eat from everything, everybody says, forbidden fruit, that's the best. And the good fruit, I'm not interested. Hashem says, you'll taste what I gave you. It's more tasty. It's better. But I told you not to eat because I know it's negative. And you don't see it. Hashem makes that the Yetzirah makes it enticing. But if you would take only what's good, and have anor and be Haidul Hashem to the Rabbi Shalom, you would see that Hashem is a toiv u'meitev lakoil. We heard before about the bracha v'atoiv u'meitev. And this is one of the main chayves of sitting Chamishos B'Shvat. When the new sraf goes into the Ilan Zakheim that there's going to be a new crop, Hashem, we recognize all the different fruits that He gave us, and we recognize we're not tied down. It doesn't mean, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do that. Hashem says you could do everything. What you're now allowed to do, I, as the biggest doctor in the world, I'm telling you, in Ruchnius and in Gashmius, it's going to come back to haunt you. And, you know, a guy smokes and he smokes and he smokes, then he gets cancer in his lungs. It's too late, he can't fix it. Yeah, his lungs are over, they're shot. There's nothing what to do. It was enticing. He became addicted to smoking. He thought it was good. We had in the shul somebody that smoked 2 to 3 packs a day. Haidul Hashem, Hashem gave him a long life. He was a baker. He used to smoke Camel without a filter till he was 94. And it's Haidul Hashem. But other people, my Rosh Yeshiva and Brisk, Yeshiva used to smoke 2 packs a day. He was in the 60s. He got cancer in his lungs. It didn't take long and he passed away. A person has to know when what's enticing looks good, but we know that al pi halacha it's wrong, stay away from it. And that's what the limit is. There's so much good that you can have to take and to enjoy Hashem's world with what He told you. I want you to have anor. Don't go around saying, no, I'm tied down, this, not that, not that, not. In the same way, Shabbos, Hashem says, you know, I want you to have one day of peace. There are goyim that say, we see the beauty of the Jewish world of Shabbos. I'm not busy with anything. I have time for my family. I have time to contemplate. I have time to recognize. They look at the goyish world that God gave us the world and He gave us so much good. Even the goyim in the world recognize and see that. It's our requirement to understand that. I want to bring out one point about the Inyan of the Rosh Hashanah Leilonis. This is the main point that all the Sifrei Avodah, all the Sifrei Hasidus, all the Sifrei Kabbalah bringing out a point. There was a big Rebbe, the Pnei Menachem, the last Ger Rebbe before today's Ger Rebbe. He was the Rosh Yeshiva in Ger for many years. There were 3 boroughs. The Beis Yisrael was first Rebbe. He was Nifter. His brother became Rebbe. When his brother was Nifter, the 3rd brother became Rebbe, the Pnei Menachem. He said an outstanding drosha on Chamisha Usa B'Shvat in Tufshi and Nun Beis. I think it was a year or 2 before he was Nifter. A drosha that all the Litvish Magidim, all the Chsidisha, all the Yakisha, everybody uses this drosha. And he explains that the Posik says, Udam Eitz HaSoda, Ki Udam Eitz HaSoda. We say that a human is just like a tree. With what is a person like a tree? What's the similarity between a human and a tree? So he asks a Moedic question. We have a whole bunch of bruchas. Everything grows. Something grows low, something grows high, on a branch, on a tree. There's a Beire Pri Adoma. You're going to have a tomato. You're going to have a vegetable that grows low on the ground. We make a Beire Pri Adoma. We have things that grow on a tree, on a branch high. We make a Beire Pri Eitz. Why on certain things do we make a Beire Pri Eitz? And why on certain things we make a Beire Pri Adoma? What's the chashivas of something that grows on a tree that we should change the bracha and say Beire Pri Eitz? So the Pnei Menachem says, he quotes in Halacha, a Beire Pri Adoma is usually something that grows very low on the ground. Another point is, it's a vegetable that usually it has its 1-year cycle, you have to replant it. Most vegetables you have to replant every year. As opposed to a tree starts growing. In the winter it looks dead, but deep in the ground, its roots are digging deeper and deeper to getting all the nutrients, all the things that it needs that it should grow. And that it digs down deeper, gives it strong power. It's attached deep in the ground, and it goes higher and higher and higher, and the branches go higher, and the fruit grows on the tree higher. What's the point? He says it's a symbolism of humanity. Udam is a eitz hasuda. You have to be like a tree. What's the difference between a tree and a vegetable? A vegetable, once it's over, it's on the ground. So he says, in Moshe, a person has to elevate himself from the ground. The closer you are to the ground, you're in artius. You're grounded. You're magushim. A tree has an awesome power. It looks dead. In the winter, there's no leaves. There's no fruit. But deep down, it's digging deeper and deeper. The roots are going deeper, taking nutrients, and it's giving it a power, the most awesome power that every Jewish boy needs. Every Yiddish boy needs. It's the power to fight gravity. A tree grows higher and higher and higher. Gravity means that this world is made that everything pulls to artius, to down, to see what I see, my inclinations, my taivas, everything that I see. I have a desire and I want to do it. The power of gravity pulls to artius. The tree has the awesome power to fight gravity. Udam eitz hasuda means Hashem gives everybody a power. You have a bad inclination. That's the nisayon you have in this world. You fight gravity. You go higher and higher and higher above ground. When your fruit is above ground, not lying on the ground, that's a chashivas already. That's why you make a Bayer Priyayitz. His drosha went viral. All the Rosh Yeshivas, all the Magidei in Panovich, and wherever you want, all the Magidei Shir, the Rosh Yeshivas use this drosha. He says a tree has an awesome power. It goes higher and higher and higher. But it doesn't stay straight. It bends over. It gives shade. That it gives a kayach, hachiyus. It's a boiling hot day. Or it's raining. I stand under a tree which is covered with a lot of branches and a lot of leaves. And it blocks it. I have hanor. A person is supposed to be a meitzel. Give tzail to other people. Give nourishment. Give shade. Help other people. I'm not supposed to be only for myself. The vegetable, it grows, it's finished, it's dead, it's over. You got to start over from the beginning. You got to plant it, and it grows. And the tree has these properties. The tree has another property. You take a branch from this tree, you plant it somewhere else, and it's going to start a whole new thing of trees. So it gives from itself that somebody else should grow. That's how every Yiddish person is supposed to be. You're supposed to be like an ilon, like an eitz, like a tree, to give over to other people. That's the objective of a person, a bacha, going to yeshiva. Every person is created with nisyonis, just like Adam Arishan. Now, you know who was the first one that did this? The forefather of Klal Yisrael, Avram Avinu. Chazal tell us Avram Avinu was going around. He saw nobody believes, nobody even knows that there's Hashem on this world. So what did he do? He made a chamishos and B'Shvat Tish. He made a big, you would say, hotel. It wasn't a hotel. He made a big open room, open from four sides. Everybody could come and eat. The food is free on one condition. After you finish, you recognize that there's a Hashem on this world. The guy, the friar person, you have to tell him there's a God in this world, and you have to recognize that he gave us, he's giving us sustenance. They didn't know. They used to have the Avodah Zorah made of eitzim and avodim. They used to make all different, what would you call that, idols, and they bow down to them from eitzim and avodim. You bow down to a piece of wood. Avram Avinu went to his father. What? He created you? You could smash it. His father went away one day and he was in charge. So he came back, everything was broken. So he says, the big one got angry at the other ones and he just took and smashed them. He said, are you crazy? It's a piece of wood. So he says, Pop, listen to what you're talking about. It's a piece of wood. It's nothing but you bow down to it. And he started to wake people up that you can't have this avodah zarah. You have to recognize there's a God in this world. And he made these sudas, and everybody that came in, if you weren't interested in saying Haidul Hashem, Baruch Atah Hashem, he said, you know, you had 2 glasses of wine. It's $10 a glass of wine. It's expensive wine. You had a good piece of steak, you got to pay a big price. So it ended up, the tally sheet was really too expensive. He said, you know what? Rather, I'll say Haidul Hashem. And slowly he woke up the inner recognition that there's Hashem in this world, and Hashem created the world, and it's not idolatry. And Avram Avinu was the first one that was Mesach the Chet Eitz Avadas, which was Achila, Shaloi Ka'alocha. The tikkun is Achila Ka'alocha. And Avram Avinu was the one that made the about face, and he said, through Achila, which was the Chet of Eitz Hadas, I'm going to make a turnaround in this world that everybody should recognize. Haidul Hashem. Hashem created the world. It wasn't for negativity. It was for positive. Everybody could have. I want all the people on the world to have Anur. But just recognize that there's somebody that's giving you. You recognize your parents. You recognize your Rabbis. You recognize your siblings. Somebody that helps you. A good chava, a good chavrusa, a good neighbor. Recognize that somebody's doing good for you. And you, in turn, have to recognize them and do good for them. And that's what the limit is. The Odam Eitz HaSoda. We're all a tree. I wish all of you, this Brucham, you should fight gravity, grow in Ruchnias and Gashmias, to be Matzliach in Torah and Yiras Shamayim, and in the Yuna Olam Hazeh, to be Matzliach, to be a Pe'er, that this Yeshiva should give off such Talmidim, that the world should be proud. All of you are Oivdei Hashem, Yereim V'Shleimim, Mutzlach in Ruchnias, Mutzlach in Gashmias, and all together, all of us should be Zoicha to sing the Shir Chudash al Kedos Nafsheinu, when we're going to be Zoicha to be as HaMashiach. Amen.